Hello, everybody. Grid Wizard 32 here with today's incredible Immaculate Baseball Grid number 939. Now, you can see that I've pre-filled a few of the spaces. For me, the toughest places to fill are any of the four expansion teams: Miami, Colorado, Arizona, and the Marlins. And why is that? Well, they've got the least history. And also because they haven't always been competitive, I mean, I just don't pay attention to those teams very much. But you can see that I've pre-filled there Vinny Castilla, who was with the Braves. I believe he was part of the expansion draft. CJ Cron, a current first baseman for the Rockies, and Greg Vaughn, the great home run hitter from the Brewers, Reds, and Padres. By the time he came to the Rockies, it was for one last chance, and the career was pretty much over. We also have a St. Louis line there. You can see in the bottom left corner, Vada Pinson. You will see his name time and time again because I really believe he's one of those guys that is just on the line for being in the Hall of Fame. If you look him up, boy, he is right there with some guys who are already in. David Freese, who was a great St. Louis World Series hero. And then over on the right side, a couple of 30 saves players. Dave Smith, who was on those 70s or early 80s teams with the Houston. They had him and Joe Sambino in the bullpen. And Donnie Moore, who unfortunately took his own life, but was most famous for giving up the home run to Dave Henderson in the Red Sox playoffs. So next we're going to fill in the Reds 30 save leader. And as an Oregon person, I'm going with Randy Myers, who grew up in Vancouver, Washington. He was a great lefty reliever, started with the Mets, came up right after that 86 World Series team, was their closer for a few years, and then spent his time with the Reds when they won a world title. And then finally, the upper left corner, somebody who played for Houston and St. Louis. You know, my first thought was Joaquin Andujar, who was a pitcher. I think he won 20 games with both teams. But the guy I really want to go with is Cesar Cedeno. And the reason I'm going to pick Cesar Cedeno is that if you look at his early career, much like Julio Rodriguez, if you're a Mariners fan, we've got to be a little bit scared. Does Julio's career take that next step forward that leads him to the Hall of Fame? Or does he have kind of a drastic drop off like Cesar Cedeno did after about his age 25 or 26? A myriad of reasons for that. The main one is he started to lose speed a little bit. His old man abilities were not the same as a young player abilities because he was never a great hitter, but man, the guy could run. He was a multi-gold glove winner. He was a guy in the Astrodome with doubles and triples. He was a guy who was top 10 in MVP voting a few times in his early 20s, just like I believe Julio is going to come out, probably fifth or sixth, maybe as low as eighth on this year's MVP ballot. But Cesar Cedeno, he is a great early 20s comp for Julio Rodriguez. This is the Grid Wizard. Can you beat my score? Today's score was 52. Good, not great. But I don't use players that no one has ever heard of. Grid Wizard 32, follow me, drop a comment, good, bad, or indifferent. I'd love to hear from you. Have a great baseball day out there. Bye now.